Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jessica Diaz, and I am with the Los Angeles County Department of Consumer and Business Affairs. Pardon, I have my face mask on. I am in the office today, so I kind of have to wear it today. But thank you so much for joining us. Today, we will be presenting on a few items. We're going to be talking about the new Los Angeles solution. With you today, we have Katie Swanson with Center for Conflict Resolution. We have Penny Saris with the Los Angeles Superior Court. And we have my colleague, Jessica Morales, with, of course, Los Angeles Department of Consumer and Business Affairs. So we have a very packed agenda. We do have a lot of items to go through today. So just a few items that we want to mention for you is please take note that your microphone is currently on mute. You may ask questions at any time during or after the videos or throughout the presentation. Please add those questions that you may have under the chat box. The chat box, please try to keep it open so that way you can ask as many questions as you need. Throughout the presentation, we are not going to be answering the questions. We're going to leave it for the Q&A session, but also you might want to maintain the chat box open because we do provide additional information on there, such as links, phone numbers, etc. Towards the end of the presentation, we're also going to have a survey. It's a 4-question survey where we're going to ask you how we're doing, if there's anything that you would like to see different, and if there's any other comments or feedback that you have for us. So for now, what we're going to do is we're going to continue on with the presentation. Okay, so what is LA-ODR? So what is known as LA-ODR is the Los Angeles Online Dispute Resolution. Beginning February 24th, 2021, each plaintiff and each defendant must register for online dispute resolution if they have filed a case in small claims. Now, this notice was sent out to all parties to be and provided when they do start their filing for a small claims case. It is important to note that all parties must register for LA-ODR within 5 days of receiving the notice. We are going to go over what that notice looks like and as well as the standing order. Now, LA-ODR features various things on there where you're able to share documents, where you're able to chat with parties, and we are going to go over some of those features a little later on within the presentation. It also allows litigants to co-create an agreement to sign and submit that agreement within the platform. That way the parties are not required, if they do come up with a resolution, they are not required to go to the hearing or the trial date. Litigants can request assistance of a certified and experienced mediator to facilitate and to guide the necessary conversations between the parties to find common ground and address realistic solution. So what we're going to do now is we're going to show you what that standing order looks like and what the notice looks like as well. And then I'm going to turn it over to Penny for her to share.
Thank you, Jessica. As displayed on the screen, you'll see the standing order that was signed December 7th, 2020 by Judge Jessner. This is the authority to which the court sends small claims litigants to a meet and confer situation. So we have, as earlier indicated, parties must register within the 5 calendar days of receiving the notice and to participate in good faith settlement discussions until a settlement is either reached or 2 court days prior to the hearing date. That information from the standing order is communicated via this Notice of Online Dispute Resolution Meet and Confer forms. As Jessica mentioned, this was sent by the court to all parties that had an existing case on calendar March 8th or thereafter. And also, we are providing this with any new small claims filing. Again, information pulled directly from the standing order. Parties must register within 5 days, and the deadline to reach that agreement was the 2 court dates. Once you log in to the registration page, this is the landing page for the LA-ODR to start your negotiations, or you can return to this page anytime during the negotiation process. So instructions to participate in the ODR, as well as Q&As and support services are also found on this landing page for the court. And we do have some tutorials and other online tools available for your use and help resolving the claim. Thank you. Once you register, you will land into the application, and it is offered by Turbo Court. So this is the landing page to begin a negotiation offer. There's several screens that you will complete, and at any time there is help available. The unlined words indicate that additional information is linked to that. Thank you.
Jess?
Yes, thank you for that. Sorry, new desktop here. Okay, and I want to discuss with you guys navigating the registration process. I believe this is where we have a video that we can direct you. LASC has created several tutorial videos meant to support the users navigating through specific portions of the LA-ODR process. And we'll give you a taste of that by sharing the video for registering onto the LA-ODR.
Welcome. This tutorial will show plaintiffs and defendants how to use Turbo Court's online dispute resolution to negotiate their small claims case. When at least one plaintiff and one defendant have registered for online dispute resolution for your small claims case, you can begin negotiating. Here we are in the ODR workspace, where you can negotiate, chat with the other parties, enter your offers and counteroffers, and much more. I am currently logged in as the defendant, which is why we see the defendant's offers on the left side of the negotiations. Now I am logged in as the plaintiff. So we see the plaintiff's offers on the left side of the negotiations. We also see that the plaintiff has some additional buttons that the defendant does not see. You can learn about these extra buttons in later tutorials. When at least one person on both sides has registered for online dispute resolution, the status of your negotiation changes to negotiation in progress. The top of the screen shows you key information about your case. One piece of information you want to pay close attention to is the resolution deadline. It shows the exact date and time you have until to reach an agreement. If you don't reach an agreement with the other side and submit it to the court before this deadline, you will have to go to court or trial, unless the plaintiff dismisses the case. You can negotiate on your own, or request a mediator to help. But either way, a settlement agreement must be submitted to the court by this resolution deadline. There are several guides to help you prepare and have a successful negotiation. Click on the Tips for Negotiation link. It opens a guide to help you negotiate better. You can print it so you always have it available. If you are the plaintiff, click on the Plaintiff's Worksheet link. This detailed worksheet prepares plaintiffs to have a successful negotiation. Print it and quickly go through the steps. If you are the defendant, click on the Defendant's Worksheet link. This detailed worksheet prepares defendants to have a successful negotiation. Back in the negotiations space, use the chat area to communicate and negotiate with the other party. You can instantly send each other messages right from the ODR workspace. Hover over the circle with the letters in it to see which participants are in that chat channel. As you can see, this chat channel is between John Doe, who is the authorized agent for the defendant, and Jane Doe, the plaintiff. To send a chat message to the other party, type your message in the box at the bottom of the chat area. Then click on the green arrow icon to send your message. Your message is immediately sent to the other party, and you can also see it in your chat area. When the other party sends a chat message to you, it will instantly appear in your chat area. As part of your negotiation, you can also send attachments to the other party in the chat area. You can attach documents, photos, and other types of files to help in your negotiation. Click on the Add Attachment link. Select the file you want to attach. The file first appears at the bottom of the chat area. If you decide you don't want to attach that file, click the X to the right of it. If you do want to send this file to the other party, click on the green arrow icon. Your attached file appears in the chat channel where you and the other party can click on it to open and view it. As the negotiations continue through the chat, you can add to or revise your terms, such as the dollar amount, installment payment info, and other terms that appear under your name. You will also indicate how payment will be made and to whom. When you are ready to save your updated negotiation terms and notify the other party, click the Save and Send button. You will see an "Are you sure" box before your terms are updated and the other party is notified. If you've changed your mind, click the No button. If you're ready to save these changes and notify the other party, click the Yes button. After you click Yes, you will see the confirmation box that the other parties have been notified. When the other party updates their negotiation terms, you will be notified. You will receive an email telling you that they proposed a new term or offer. Click the link in the email to return to your negotiations to see their updated terms or other changes. If at any time you sent a chat message, updated your terms, or taken some other action, and you are waiting for the other party to respond, you can click the Send Reminder button. TurboCourt will immediately send them an email telling them to return to ODR. As a reminder, both sides, the plaintiff and the defendant, can perform each of these activities. You can see the other side's updated terms under their name. You will typically be notified by email when another party makes changes or adds something in the negotiation. But it's also a good idea to log back in regularly. This concludes the tutorial on how to use ODR to negotiate. To learn how to complete your negotiations, we recommend watching these other tutorials, such as Create Additional Terms and Offers. If you are the plaintiff, watch Creating a Settlement Agreement. And if you are the defendant, watch Reviewing a Settlement Agreement. Thank you for using TurboCourt.
As far as where you can find additional tutorials, they are located on the TurboCourt website as well as the DCBA website. If you, this is our main page. If you click Small Claims on the top of the toolbar there, and the first box, what is LA-ODR? We'll drop down to learn about LA-ODR process for small claims litigants. And we have a total of 9 videos available. Those are the ones with the red title. A couple of other ones: how to register for ODR, starting the negotiation process for plaintiff, a separate one on how to start the negotiation process for defendant, and so on. There will be more videos that will be added as soon as we learn what interest topics you guys are interested in. As well, they will be available on the registration page. If you scroll down, there's the option for the additional videos there. Okay. Here we have benefits of the meet and confer. So before the pandemic, the small claims litigants were able to request a mediator at their day of hearing to give it one last effort to try and resolve their dispute before proceeding with their hearing date. This LA-ODR is meant to replace that option. Instead of meeting to discuss settlement discussions on the hearing date, you're doing so virtually in advance of your hearing date. The benefits of ODR is that it still allows you to share documents as you would be doing in person, share offers, propose settlements, and if you're fortunate enough to settle your differences, write down a settlement agreement.
Are you able to hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now, Jess.
Thank you. Thank you, Jess, for covering over the benefits of meet and confer. What we're going to do now is we're going to show you another clip for how to request the negotiation through ODR.
Welcome. This tutorial will show you how to request a mediator to help you negotiate with the other side in a small claims case. Either the plaintiff or the defendant can request a mediator using online dispute resolution. The tutorial will also show you how to consent to mediation and confidentiality when another party in your case requests a mediator. Sometimes, even with the best of intentions, both sides are not able to reach an agreement on their own. If there is still time left before the resolution deadline, a good course of action can be to request a mediator to help with the negotiations. Mediators are well trained at helping people come to an agreement so that both sides avoid having to go to court. Anyone registered for online dispute resolution for your case can request a mediator. That means the plaintiff or the defendant can request a mediator at any time. Click the Request Mediator button to request a mediator. A confirmation box appears. It explains what mediators do, what your options are, and that there is no charge for mediation. You must read the confidentiality agreement to mediate and agree to it. Click on the agreement link to view it. Depending on which mediation agency will be providing a mediator to your case, you will see that agency's agreement. Read the agreement completely and carefully. When you are done, close the agreement and return to the confirmation box. If you've changed your mind and don't want to request a mediator at this time, click the No button. If you do want to request a mediator, click the Yes button. Clicking Yes means you authorize your electronic signature on the mediation agreement and that you agree to be bound by its terms. Another box appears confirming that your mediation request has been sent. Click the OK button. Notice that the status of your negotiation has changed to mediation requested. Your request has been sent to the mediation agency. Once the other parties in your case consent to mediation, the agency will assign a mediator to help you resolve your dispute. An email is sent to all parties who have registered for online dispute resolution for your case. The email tells them that a mediator has been requested, and that they need to log in to consent or decline mediation. When any of the other parties in your case log back in, they immediately are shown the consent to mediate. They must indicate if they accept or decline mediation before they can do anything else in the case. On a related note, if there is another party in your case who didn't previously register for online dispute resolution, when they register for ODR through the Los Angeles website and then in TurboCourt, they will be shown this screen, Consent to join mediation in progress. It tells them that mediation is already underway in your case. They must decide right here if they accept or decline the mediation. If no one from the other side of your case responds to the mediation request, or if someone declines mediation, then it is up to the mediation agency to decide how they will proceed. In this situation, it is very possible the mediation agency will end the mediation request and send the dispute back to the parties for you to continue negotiating on your own. If this happens, the status of your negotiation will switch from mediation requested back to negotiation in progress. If the mediation agency does send the dispute back to the parties, you will receive an email notification. If there is still time remaining before the resolution deadline, you can continue negotiating with the other parties on your own. Assuming that the other side agrees to mediation, then the mediation agency will assign a mediator. In that situation, the status of your negotiation will change to pending acceptance by mediator, and it will show the name of the proposed mediator. It's important to note that while you are waiting for a mediator to be assigned, you and the other parties can continue to negotiate on your own, by using the chat area, by updating your offers in the negotiation area, and even adding or revising additional terms. Once the proposed mediator accepts this assignment, all the parties will receive an email notification. Now that the mediator has accepted the assignment to work with you on your case, the status of your negotiation changes to mediation in progress. The mediator will contact you. You will continue to work in this online dispute resolution workspace, but now you will have a mediator helping both sides come to an agreement. This concludes the tutorial on how to request a mediator and consent to mediation. To learn how to work with a mediator when one is assigned to your case, watch the tutorial, Using ODR with a Mediator. Thank you for using TurboCourt.
All right. And now we will hand it over to Katie Swanson from Center for Conflict Resolutions, CCNR.
Thank you, Jessica. I'll just wait for that slide to pop up. Perfect. Okay, so first, I just want to say that mediation is another option offered to you to try and resolve your dispute. It's offered to you at no extra cost by the courts, and it'll be accessible to you once you're in the negotiation space, and at least one party from each side of the dispute has joined. Mediation itself is a facilitated conversation or communication conducted by a neutral third party, the mediator, me. Essentially, what we're trying to do is to hopefully assist the parties in coming to some sort of mutually agreeable resolution. Because sometimes, especially in small claim cases, sometimes you just need to hear things or say things through somebody else, just given it makes things a little bit easier and clearer. We can help clarify and be direct in some of those pieces. We don't make any judgments for you. We're here really to help you think outside the box and get creative with what we can come to an agreement on. And again, it's that last opportunity to try and resolve this yourself before you actually have to appear before a judge. The benefits, as you can see out here, the three main outlined here, the three main benefits are that mediation is confidential, it's voluntary, and we have the assistance of a neutral third party. So the biggest thing in mediation for us as mediators is confidentiality. This is key to what we do because it allows us to be able to assist in a different way than a lawyer would or appearing before a judge. Confidentiality in this platform has two different pathways. We have the direct group access. So once all parties are in the mediation, then confidentiality exists and kind of covers like an umbrella the conversations that are happening within that space. And then you also have as a party a direct line to the mediator, which is also a confidential conversation, again, under that umbrella. So it really allows us to kind of explore and talk through things that maybe you don't want to discuss with the other party or things you want to try and consider before actually making that offer or taking that offer into consideration. It just also allows us to get a little bit more creative because we can talk a little bit freer. The next big thing is that it's voluntary. Nobody's mandating that you do this. It's accessible to you. It's something that you can always try. And if it's just not working out, you have a timeline before your access to be able to try and resolve situations, these disputes expires. So we can always send you back if you're just like, this doesn't work. I'd like to just speak to the party directly. Or it's just, another option to explore. So it's completely voluntary, no harm. You don't lose your place in line. Your hearing date still exists. Nothing changes on that end. So it just gives you that extra piece available to you. And then this next piece is that it's a neutral third party. So like I said, we don't make any judgments. We don't make any decisions. We don't have any bias. We're not here to say, yes, this side is right. No, this side is wrong. We're just here to try and clarify, make things clear, help the communication go, really try and get creative with what you can do, because a lot of times it's not just this or that. We can kind of change things up to figure out things outside of just a monetary settlement, so that our aim is to help you guys, again, walk away with that mutually agreeable resolution that makes you whole and gives you that resolve so that you can just continue on with your day. And then the last thing I'll just say on mediation, especially within the small claims piece, is that we can actually create an agreement for you that's binding with the court. So if we can come to that agreement, we can help you write it up, we can submit it on your behalf, it goes to the judge, you guys are good, set, you don't need to attend your hearing, and you're good to go. The great thing about these agreements too is that it's also an assurance of, I know what we resolved, what we decided on, how I'm gonna get it, when I'm gonna get it, where I'm gonna get it. So if it comes to a monetary amount, you know exactly when you're going to have to get that, or when that money's going to be paid to you, how it's going to be paid to you, and it's all set in stone. Versus if you actually go to the hearing and you appear before the judge, there's just no guarantees on what can happen. The judge can rule in favor of any party, and then it's up to you to deal with whatever that resolve is in terms of collecting it, anything like that. So again, ultimately, there's really no harm in trying mediation. It's confidential, so we're here to have those conversations with you and try and get you to an agreeable solution. So now we're going to play a video on how to request and consent to mediation.
Welcome. This tutorial will show plaintiffs and defendants how to create a court ID in the Los Angeles Superior Court. Then it will show you how to register your small claims case for online dispute resolution, also known as ODR, in the LA Superior Court. Before we continue, when you are on this Los Angeles Superior Court website page for online dispute resolution, you may want to scroll down so you can see all the information about the ODR program. There is lots of helpful information about online dispute resolution and how to get the most out of it. Back at the top of the page, if you already have a court ID with the Los Angeles Superior Court, simply click Sign in the upper right corner. If you don't yet have a court ID, click the Go button in the Start Your ODR box. The next screen gives you the option to create a new account. Click on the link, Instructions to create a new account. It will show you the 5 easy steps to take to create a new account and get your court ID. Once you have reviewed the 5 easy steps, click on the Create a New Account button and create your account. When you have successfully created your new account, it will bring you to this screen. Click on the Continue button to start the process to register your small claims case for ODR. Read the ODR agreement, and then check the box below indicating that you understand and agree to these terms. Then click the Continue button. On this screen, enter your case number for your small claims case. If you don't know what your case number is, click on the link to learn where to find it on your court form. Enter your case number and then click the Continue button. The program will display the case name associated with that case number. If that is your case, then click the Continue button. If you mistype the case number and the wrong case appears, then click the Change Case Number button instead. The program now asks you to provide your address exactly as it appears on your small claims court form. If you're not sure, click the link to learn where to look on your court form to see how your address is listed. After you have entered your address, click the Continue button. Select your name, or your organization's name, from the list of parties shown for this case. Then click the Continue button. Select your name carefully because your answer can't be changed. Next, the program will ask if you need help with English. If English is not your first language and you do need some help, click Yes. If requested by you or another party in your case, a mediator can be assigned to help you negotiate. If a mediator is requested, the mediation agency will try to provide a mediator for your language. Select your language from those listed in the drop-down list. Then click the Continue button. If you do not need help with English, click the No button. This final screen confirms that all your information has been verified. Click the Continue to TurboCourt button. You will be redirected to the TurboCourt website where you can continue your ODR registration in TurboCourt and begin negotiating. You arrive in TurboCourt where you will continue your ODR registration so you can begin negotiating. TurboCourt will walk you through the remaining steps. This concludes the tutorial on how to register for small claims ODR in the Los Angeles Superior Court. Once you have registered for ODR from the Los Angeles website, we suggest watching one of the starting negotiation tutorials.
Great. So that wraps up the 3 videos that we had for everyone. Again, as a recap, we have how to register for ODR in through LASC. We have how to use ODR to negotiate, as well as request and consent to mediate. Again, we do have additional tutorials that are available on our DCBA website. We also dropped the link on the chat, as well as on the Los Angeles Superior Court landing page. You just have to scroll down towards the middle of the page and you'll be able to access those videos through there. Resources. So we do have available resources for the public should they have any questions regarding their support for court ID or ODR registration. So if you are having issues with registering for your ODR, or you are unable to create your own court ID, on the screen you'll see the phone number to the service desk. Their availabilities are Monday through Friday and from 7:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Additionally, when you are in ODR, if you do have a question or you are having any issues with the actual system, you can click on the top right-hand corner. You're going to see the bar that you can see Home, Login, Sign Up, Help, About, and Quit. Just simply click on the Help button and you're able to fill out what is considered a ticket. That ticket will then be sent over to the appropriate team to be able to assist you. And then lastly, we have resources for any litigants who have questions regarding any forms or procedures for small claims cases. We can guide you through the entire process from start to finish, provide you any resources that you need, provide you with any forms or procedures that you need particularly for your case. Our phone number to our department is located also on the webpage. And now what we're going to do is we are going to go over any questions that the public has. There was one question that came up, and it is, are the documents available in Spanish? I'm going to assume the documents are for the standing order and the notice.
Both the standing order and the notice of meet and confer are only available in English. However, there is a future enhancement in which we will be providing ODR in Spanish, but that's going to be later this year.
Great. And then we do have another question, and that question is, are we required to attempt mediation before going to court? Jessica?
Yes, trying to find my unmute, apologize. I can answer that one. So what is required is for you to register onto LA-ODR. Once you register to LA-ODR, you'll have the option to meet and confer, so to try and have settlement discussions between the plaintiff and defendant independently on your own, or with the assistance of a mediator. If you request a mediator, that part is voluntary. All parties would have to agree to enter into mediation, and the mediation portion is not mandatory. That is a voluntary. You guys are welcome to register. Well, you are required to register onto LA-ODR, and you're welcome to proceed solely with a meet and confer. And the option to request a mediator is available and is voluntary.
Great, thank you. Another question is coming in also is, what percentage of mediators are bilingual?
For DCBA, I don't have a percentage. We seem to have enough Spanish mediator language available. Additional languages are a little more scarce, but if it's Spanish, which tends to be our most common other language than English is requested, we tend to have that covered. There's no wait for a Spanish available mediator. Other languages are a little more difficult.
And I'll just add too, for CCR, I don't have a percentage available either, but we do look at each case that comes in, and if the request for another language is made, then we try and source that to the appropriate mediator. So we do have several different languages available. It's just trying to catch that in the beginning so we can get the right mediator associated with your case.
Great. Okay, another question is, what if the defendant does not adhere to the settlement agreement?
I'll take that question. Unlike a judgment, a settlement agreement dismisses the case, but holds the court to retain jurisdiction until all terms and conditions are met. If either party fails to comply with the terms and conditions, the matter can be returned to the court by simply filing an SC 105 generic request for court order and answer. This information is also printed on the settlement agreement that identifies the enforcement of the settlement agreement is to follow and file the SC 105 form.
And I can add to that too, Penny. Our department does on our website also have sample forms that the public is able to access. Should you need a guide to be able to fill out that form, you can definitely access them on our DCBA website under the tab Small Claims, and you'll be able to access the forms on there. We also drop the link for you to be able to access those sample forms as well. Another question came in is, what is the amount to be considered a small claims? I can answer that question. So for the amount to be considered a small claims, it's going to be based off of who is filing. So if the plaintiff is a corporation, they're limited to $5,000. If the plaintiff is a sole proprietor or an individual, they're able to sue for up to $10,000. By all means, please give us a call to our small claims, to our consumer counseling center to be able to direct you over to our small claims counselor to provide you additional information. It's also, our phone number was also added on the chat should you have further questions on that one. And then we have another question is, if I participate in ODR, do I still need to comply with the order to exchange evidence 10 days prior to the hearing?
So in a word, yes, because that is a separate standing order. But if I could elaborate, the court's committed to providing a safe environment for both the public and employees. So in addition to our social distancing, we are adhering to several health and safety practices. So the remote appearances and exchange of evidence protocol was an alternative to appearing in court. We wanted to provide that and also ensure that the parties had the ability to submit evidence as they are as they're required, or to just really support their cause. But that being said, LA-ODR is a collaborative effort, and I think we believe that by using the tools and the resources available, you should be able to resolve your dispute well before the time that you have to submit that evidence to the court.
Thank you, Penny. And then we do have a follow-up question on that is, can I mail my evidence for the mediator to view? I can answer that one. So for physical evidence, we don't have a method for you to send in the evidence to the actual mediator. However, the ODR platform does have, as the previous video showed, you can add attachments in the chat. So when you add the attachment, the mediator along with the other parties are able to view those documents, which also for the future webinar that we do have in mind is we would like to go over the features of ODR, including the meet and confer, as well as when you're in mediation. So stay tuned for a future webinar where we're going to be discussing the features of that. And I believe that is all of the questions, unless anyone else is still typing up a question. Please leave it on the chat. Let me just double check on that one. I believe that's it. If for whatever reason you have follow-up question that you need to talk about a little bit more in private, you can definitely leave us your contact information with your name and what your phone number is, so that way we can definitely give you a call. Specifically also what it's regarding, if it's to talk to a mediator, if it's to talk to a small claims advisor, or if it's to talk regarding the landing page. But that concludes our presentation for the new LA-ODR. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to drop it in the chat. We'll stay for about a minute or two. Panelists, do you have anything else to add? Last minute thoughts? Nothing? Okay, very good. Alrighty, thank you everyone for joining. We appreciate it. Stay tuned for the next webinar.